Hey everyone, welcome to Inside the Gorilla Position. I am your host, Jason Rumble, and as always, the boys are always in town. I'll be pulling them on one by one. We're going to have some fun here tonight. As always, we're streaming live through Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. This week's edition, just to give you a little insight or inside the Gorilla Position, the minds. We're going to talk pre-AEW a little bit. Let's get into the so to speak, the real reasons on a lot of these indie signings that have now been releases 3 and 5 years later, that the whole wrestling world has been basically turned upside down. I'd also like to get into a little bit of this week, what we saw in wrestling. I was able to watch some, especially that main event that, once again, I believe AEW should keep the hardcore wrestling to the hardcore companies. With that being said, at this time, I'd like to bring in AJP himself. He's no longer bedridden, Sam. He's back sitting on his couch in Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada. Sidewalk Sam, how we doing tonight?
I'm all right, brother. How are you?
I'm doing all right. So let's pull in APOC real quick, and then we'll get into what I'd like to talk about this evening. The APOC himself, brother. How you doing?
What's going on?
Yeah, just living the life.
I hear you.
So, Mike, I hear Charlotte and Andrade are on the splits. Maybe you got a chance, brother.
I'm gonna break your other ankle for even saying that to me. What the hell's wrong with you? You got some shit on your head too, by the way. Oh my goodness.
So
who cares? I wish they would release her so she could go to AEW.
I don't think they'll be. I don't think they'll be releasing her anytime soon, Mike. I have a feeling. Yeah, and hear me out. Hear me out.
Oh, I agree with you.
I believe right now that Vince McMahon, somewhere in his mind, believes that the next breakout superstar is in the women's division.
I don't know about that one.
I believe he still looks at Charlotte Flair at being that shining torchlight that is, I'm not going to say that could possibly be like, maybe not a 1B to Roman Reigns, but a 1C to Roman Reigns. I believe Vince would love to have that, for the simple fact is, for the time, the money that the WWE has put into the women's division, aka all these Monday night main events, these WrestleMania main events. I'm not saying it could happen, but do you guys think that it could ever happen that quite possibly a woman's angle could be that integral to WWE television?
No. Do you know why? Because they've already tried all that. They tried it with Becky and Charlotte. It got stale quick. They tried it with Sasha and Charlotte. It got stale quick. Tony Storm and Charlotte kind of interests me, just for the fact that I think Tony Storm's a pretty good worker, and we'll see where it goes. I'd love to see Liv Morgan get a push, but
she's getting a push now, and I was going to say that tonight. I like the fact they're giving Liv Morgan a push. She deserves it, and But
is she going to get the title? No. What she should.
So then I guess what my question would be, do you ever think that the women's division, maybe not just one, but maybe the women's division could become a focal point just as much as the men have become a focal point of WWE television?
Nope. No, because it's the women's division. They had the opportunity to really blow up the women's division. They had it when they were in NXT, and they had all the best women were working in NXT, and it was they were blowing it up. Now it's getting stale. I mean, I don't know what they're gonna do with what's her face, whatever her name. I forgot. He had a brain fart. Who used to be the women's champion? Gonzalez.
Yeah. Down in NXT, I
Yeah.
think she's still green and she's good where she's at right now. You know, I think she's good where she's at. She's still green. I think of it this way. There's a girl in AEW that has probably the best look that a female wrestler has had in a long time. And her name's Jade Cargill. But with that being said, I really honestly believe she got rushed very soon. And a lot of it had to do probably with the pressures of her maybe signing with the WWE. But at the same point, I guarantee that people were in her ear going, as good as you look, you're not going to get the elevated push with the WWE that you would with us right now, especially that being said of her coming in right away with Shaquille O'Neal. Come to find out that, she's friends of the Shaquille O'Neal family. That's one of the other reasons on how she ended up.
And she needs a manager, and I like the manager she has.
Buddy, the match on Wednesday night that I watched, on that second pump heel kick that she did, she totally missed the girl. Totally missed her. And the crowd was ready to call her out on it.
I don't know. To me, it just seems like a lot of what's going on now in wrestling. Like I said last week, it's getting stale. It's getting stale fast.
So my buddy Jerry Leone of Malden, Massachusetts, do you guys think the women of the WWE would ever have their own weekly television show?
Nope. No. And it's unfortunate because there are a lot of good women, good workers, even in the independent scene. But it's just the way it is with WWE. Even AEW, they're not really putting the spotlight on women's wrestling. It's just the business.
I think maybe they could do a yearly women's pay-per-view.
They tried that already. They tried that and it failed miserably. WWE.
No, I thought it went rather well.
I thought I was under the influence that first pay-per-view went well. I think it was to the fact that like in all aspects that Vince doesn't like anything outshining what he puts up.
Well, that's the problem. Look what he's done. Look what he did.
And here he is.
Wow!
Straight from the tents of Barnum and Bailey Circus, the indie clown himself. And this is what I want. This is all right. Let me see if I can let this go right. Because listen, I love AEW like the rest of us, but let's just admit right here that they screwed up another main event, just like they did when they did the Hardcore Explosion match, trying to make people believe that Cody Rhodes earned that victory over Andrade's LCN, or whatever the hell you want to call him nowadays. It was pathetic that Cody was able to pin him, and then the AEW fandom out there mocking out for the fact that, oh my God, look at those burns on Cody's back. Watch the show. He spent 7 days in Cabo without any sunblock on, and he was already peeling. And I have the proof right here.
I got nothing. Can you hear me?
If we can pull it up.
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Yeah.
Here's the picture. Can you guys see that picture? See the little scabbies? That was during the first 4 minutes of the match where Andrade's and Cody Rhodes went outside the ring. Okay? That sunburn peeling right there. Such a farce. Such bull crap that AEW trying to make it look like they're hardcore. Bull crap. Leave it to GCW.
I'm ready to rip AEW tonight. Let's go.
All right.
Wow. Go, let him talk. Go ahead.
All right. Like Jim Rome used to say, What are you burning on there, Mr. Forbes?
Well, I'll piggyback right on top of that. First of all, I agree with everything you just said. Bullshit. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's tough to kind of get a read when you're going back and forth with the messages. We're busting balls with each other, but the Golden Shovel, Cody Rhodes going over again now on Andrade and Alistair. They're less than now. It's just it's like Cody is what
When
Roman.
is he going to start coming out and being normal in an entrance? Why is he the only jerk off that comes through that middle?
Because he's the vice president of the Super Indie Fed. How many times I got to say it?
The only thing that Jay, the only thing that I can think of, Mike Pelly, is that he is just going to do a real slow burn on the heel turn. He has to be a heel. He's getting booed out of the fucking building.
In his own hometown of Atlanta, Georgia, where he was a high school star.
Yeah, no.
Well, what he should do is turn heel and take over the Elite. That's what he should do.
Yeah, it can't keep going on like this. I mean, don't you guys also feel that like Alistair is less than now?
Of course he is.
He was booked perfectly in the beginning. I'm not saying that like Cody has to lose every match or whatever, but it was like now Malachi has moved on to Pac. And,
yes.
And it's just like Cody got the better of him, I mean,
well, the only thing that's going to save Malachi Black is if they do the House of Black and they bring in Brody Lee.
You mean Bray?
Bring in Bray Wyatt?
No. What's his name that they've been talking about bringing in? King Lee or King Brody or something like that. Brody King.
Brody. Oh yeah.
That he tagged with. He used to tag in the indie scene.
Guys, let me get your take on this too. This is kind of aggravating me too. I mean, I think Daniel Bryan's heel turn has been great. I think because he's such a pro. You know what I mean? But do you think that it's wise for him to get the title now?
No.
He's not going to either.
Okay, so here's they almost got themselves booked into a corner now, unless they do some kind of fuck finish at when is it? Winter
What's
is coming.
To say there has to even be a finish? You know what I mean?
Well,
what if somebody just interjects themselves into that match?
Now, me personally, if even though Bray's doing a movie, he's the only person I can think of outside of Brody King of what Mike was talking about. Let's say Bray was able to make an appearance or whatever. You see how Bryan has been bullying the Dark Order people?
Yeah.
There's your opening right there, to kind of get him involved to interfere with that match. I think that, or somebody else. I don't think Hangman should be losing the title.
Nope.
I don't think Hangman, but to be honest, I do not think Hangman Page is the transitional champion. No. I believe that they're going to come up with a good outcome, and Daniel Bryan is basically there for the first year or so, just wrestling guys and giving you that dream match scenario. And then after that, I believe that they can concentrate on Daniel Bryan being, so to speak, the champion.
Well, he only signed a 3-year deal, and he said that this is a 3-year window for him. And after that, he's not going to be wrestling full time like he was before. So,
I think if any heel should take the title off of Adam Page in the not the soon future, but future many months down the road, should be MJF.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even like Ruby Soho going over Statlander.
Oh, buddy. Don't get me started about Reba McEntire and Woody Woodpecker's daughter.
like what right does she have to go over Statlander, who overcame an injury, who's an AEW original? Like, I'm not saying she has to win the TBS title or whatever, but Ruby should not be going over her.
So this is where I'm gonna do but where you love Vinny Capelli and you've been giving him the proverbial blowjobs all over the fucking Gorilla Position Network.
Yeah, what's up with that? How's his
Wow.
neck taste?
Buddy, you got him in glory. They all think I know everything. I am the Messiah. God
And he's
damn,
just one big giant gazoo.
oh, you have fed his ego to the big. Oh my. To the way he left the show last Saturday, like his word was the fucking gospel. Oh, I was ready to puke. Okay, I love him to death, but yeah, you give more fuel to that fire, Forbesy. It is incredible.
Hey, who's this?
Ha ha! That a little bit of cage. Oh, that's Shaq, baby.
It's worth money.
So what was I ready to comment on? Now I forget because all I wanted to.
We were talking about Ruby. We were talking about Ruby Woodpecker.
So Ruby Soho. This is my Chris Ray's projection right here, or as we call him, the Great Kazoo would say, this is where the television executives are coming in, and they want the marketable person who's been seen on other television. So it's out of Tony Khan's hands. They want it on an established talent like Ruby Soho that was part of SmackDown and Monday Night Raw when going and debuting on the TBS network.
So
that's what he would say.
Yeah, but she was not over to that level. She wasn't like she was hardly known.
She's still a star. She's still a star.
Can I make an analogy here real quick? So if you take out Miro, Danielson, CM Punk, which is getting real boring real fast.
And I'll tell you, bro.
Wait.
Keep on going because I'll get to CM Punk later.
So you take out CM Punk, you take out Black, you take out Ruby Soho, you take out Eldranis, and what do you have? The same old AEW bullshit. They are making their name off of the people that were in the WWE. And all these marks think that, AEW is the best thing that sliced bread. No, they're not. Because if they didn't sign any of them people, they still be in the shitter where they were before they signed these people.
Yeah, they may not be in the shitter, but they'd be grasping for straws. Hold up.
Right.
Or they would have kept the proverbial door open that much longer with like New Japan.
Right. So the Bray Wyatt situation. Could he sign with them? Yes. Do I think AEW is going to try to sign them? Absolutely not, because they can't afford them.
No, they're going to start cutting people, Mike. They're going to have to.
They're hemorrhaging.
He said, wait a second right there, because Tony Khan blatantly said, I would never cut nobody. People in my company, their contracts will last.
Okay.
Yeah, well, but Mike, Jay, contracts are coming up.
No, I understand that. But say there's somebody that got signed for another year that is such vanilla ice cream that it's pathetic.
Right.
He won't get rid of them.
You'll see a lot of the dark people and like the Joey Janellas and the, you know what I mean? Like they got, I don't know what type of contracts they have, but those guys will be let go.
Brian Cage, they're paying Brian Cage to sit home. When's the last time he was on TV?
Brian Cage is perfect for WWE.
That's where he's going to go. He'll end up with WWE as soon as his contract is up.
Is he still taking indie bookings, Brian Cage?
No. Nope. Nope. They're paying him to sit home. They signed him for
Moxley
2 years.
Will be the second big name to go back, but like Moxley's got another year, I think. And
you know what sucks about that you brought that up? Why does your nephew clown on everything that like people like myself put up? People that might like. I don't.
He's a clown because he's a clown.
I just don't understand it. I put up a piece of news. You actually liked what I said about the Moxley thing and could understand, but your cousin or your nephew has to put up. I don't see it. The fucking article's right there, you bozo. And it's been known that Vince has always picked up the tab, the people that ain't in his company. He hated him and Ric Flair got in a huge tiff 5-6 years ago. And who was the first person to come to Ric Flair's aid? Vince frickin' McMahon.
Yep.
Just because he cuts you, it's business. He still loves the people that have come through his
When
door.
Flair was in the hospital on his deathbed, WWE picked up that bill.
Have you guys been catching any of Rick's podcast? It's pretty good.
No, I have not.
I mean, I don't like Mark Madden or whatever, but like Rick he's putting out a good product as far as like, I mean,
That's all he can do because the AEW is not going to sign him after the crap that came on him.
The only thing that would drive you crazy, Mike, is his like his impartial bias towards Charlotte. It's bad. Like you have
daughter.
Oh, buddy,
daughter, dude.
I can tell. Listen to this right now. I am watching the NWA. I just put it on the NWA pay-per-view, and they can't even fill a TV stadium, a TV studio. It's pathetic.
Well,
some good talent right now. Like right now, they got Mikey Bennett and what's his name, Matt Taven against Damian Sandow, and I don't know the other dude in the ring. It almost looks like Michael Elgin, but I don't believe it is.
Well,
buddy, there's about
signing with AEW.
There's about 37 people in that studio. They can't even fill up the middle section of chairs. It's pathetic.
That's because you have a rock star trying to run a wrestling company.
The pandemic. It was like that before the pandemic.
Really? I watched a little bit of Power, but I always thought that the one side actually looked full. This is horrible.
So speaking of Vince McMahon, him and Austin Theory on Raw. If you were given the plate, but if you were given the plate, maybe he was just paid to sit there and say nothing pretty much. But if you were given the plate with you sitting beside Vince McMahon on Raw, would you take the gimmick and try to shine yourself and try to prove to him with a promo, like,
nope,
do it yourself? Yes or no? Or like do it on 316 or
if you're not allowed to.
Right. No, if you're told to shut your mouth and sit there, you shut your mouth and sit there, especially with Vince McMahon.
Okay.
Yeah, Vince McMahon ain't like sitting there some indie promoter that all of a sudden the guy's going to discover that the kid can talk. You ain't doing that with Vince.
Is Austin Theory talented? Yes.
Oh, very.
Same thing with Garza and Humberto. I mean, I like the little push that they're getting.
Because those are the young guys that WWE wanted to keep, and now we're starting to see the repercussions of what the cuts brought, which steers me into a perfect avenue to talk about this.
Did they turn the Viking Raiders heel?
You know, Mike, last night, Forbes, you put that up there, I believe, that you liked how the Viking Raiders did that little gimmick there.
No. It was facetious. If you watched it to the end.
Yeah, I was like, why is he putting this up? They didn't turn heel. They should have. It would have been a perfect opportunity for him.
I was so pissed off at it because Boogs and Nakamura accidentally cost them the match, right?
Well, that's planting the seed. They probably are going to go heel eventually.
But so the Viking Raiders approached them to confront them, right? You know, and you're waiting for a confrontation like you would normally, right? And then all of a sudden, Boog starts playing their music, and they start dancing to it instead. I went ballistic. I was like, "Get this shit off my TV."
That was must have been one of the only parts of SmackDown I missed.
Jay, watch it; it'll piss you off too. It's just like you're waiting for Eric or Ivar to just clothesline Boogs right out of his goddamn farmer pants, and they start dancing together. That's like. Dude, that's how you answer them costing you the match? It's like, come on, man.
I think the next time you'll get what you want.
Maybe, but like I'm like, yes, come on, give me this. This is what I want from you guys. Give me this. And
what surprised me the most, probably on SmackDown or the whole week of wrestling, was Brock Lesnar on the mic.
Very nice. He was very good by himself. He sounded great. Convincing. It was a cool thing. The only thing I hated about that Pelly was it was like they discarded Sammy like trash. He wins the battle royal and he's shit now.
Well, his contract's coming up too. He's leaving.
Maybe that's why. Did you watch that, Mike?
Yeah.
He was made to look like a fucking buffoon.
See, you could tell Kevin Owens is staying because they're pushing him to no end.
Guys, I gotta go on mute. I'm at work. Just keep going. I'll be
Yeah,
back.
yeah, buddy. So, yeah, I think Kevin Owens stays because, like, I've been thinking lately, and I believe the reason why you don't have a main storyline on Raw the way you do on SmackDown is because truly that they have not they haven't found the one person
Right.
that can legitimately they feel carry that product. But
It was.
I
It wasn't.
I believe the wrestling action and what has been going on Monday Night Raw has been a lot better than in recent weeks and or months.
Except for that abortion of the 10 women match.
The what?
The 10 women.
Oh, that
match
10 woman
sucked.
match. I put that. Yeah. I'm so surprised Vince didn't have them 10 girls on the waiver wire. And then the next Monday night have a battle royal for the belt.
Yeah, they were horrible.
It was the shits.
Yep.
So we'll keep on jumping around. NXT Tuesday night. I'm sorry, but Braun Breaker, I don't care who his uncle is. I don't care who his dad is. He is the generic musclehead promo that thinks just because he's got muscles, he's tough and mean. It's so generic. It's so boring.
Well, you could tell that Scott Steiner's in his ear.
Yeah, yeah. It's very generic, man. He's hot. Like, I'm sorry. I myself, I don't see anything special in him. His promos turn me off. If I wanted to see the big bad voodoo daddy's nephew, and then all four of them, listen,
you feel
I
the
love
whole
listen.
2.0 that way?
Hear me, yes, those 2.0s, hear me out. Carmelo Hayes is great, Mike. We know him, he's from Chaotic. But that stereotypical gimmick that they have fucking portrayed him in is one of the reasons why America still stereotypically, what's that? They stereotype that.
But that's the same. That's the same gimmick he was doing Chaotic. He hasn't really changed it.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if you want people not to look at you as a thug, or people not to I'm just sorry.
That's what he was doing in Chaotic, and it was working for him. That's what got him noticed, and they decided to go with
I think at times what he did, I think his true wrestling talent is what 100% got him noticed.
Yeah,
that's
an obvious. Go ahead.
The 2.0 gimmick I like is this Joe Gacy kid.
And I love Joe Gacy. I love that. I'm eating that gimmick up.
There's your next Bray Wyatt right there. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. That's what they're grooming him for. He's going to be that next dark character, but he's doing it as a millennial, which is working. Making the snowflake references and all this other stuff that he does. It's amazing. I love it.
Here's another thing. Like 3 out of the 4 guys, I don't like. I like Carmelo. I just, you know what the thing is? If he's riding with the gimmick, he rides with the gimmick. He does it well. It's just the stereotypical. And I guess then call me a white racist. That's why, that's why we do what we do when we see what we see. Right. Sorry, but that's the way it bounces.
Yeah.
So I'm a racist. I am Heil Hitler. You know what I?
Hey, don't do that on here. What's the matter with you? Dumbass.
I'm sorry. I truly don't believe that. So, and then another guy I'm not invested into is the Waller kid. Like, I don't think he's that good. I don't care that he has.
He's just generations of Simon Dean. That's what he is.
Yeah, I don't think that. Yeah, he just. I just don't. I don't like the. I hate. I think the accent is one thing. I've never been a fan of the accents. And he's not a really good wrestler. So
No.
I guess maybe what he's doing, his gimmick is right because I can't stand him.
Oh, well.
I think he sucks. The only guy out of that bunch that's NXT 2.0 that is worth watching is Carmelo Hayes.
Yep.
And then don't even get me started on Tony D'Angelo, okay?
Yeah, his gimmick was good in the beginning, but now it's just getting it's getting
wearing the velvet suit, and he's got the derby hat. Hey, hey, paisano, hey.
It's like he stepped out of the WCW into fucking NXT. That's
Yeah,
it's like
he's one of the guys that was in with Tony Mamaluke.
I'm waiting for Vito to come out as his manager.
I'm waiting for little Guido to be his manager.
Put FBI, give him an FBI.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Some of the gimmicks they're doing right now is just stuff they did in the '90s, and it's not taken. It's
Vince McMahon going, look, I can create characters.
And that's I hear. Like Capelli saying, "Oh, AEW is winning." What are they winning? They're not winning anything. They're not touching them in the ratings. They haven't for a while. I mean, SmackDown last Friday, Rampage did 400,000 people. Yeah, so, Dynamite didn't even come close to 1 million people.
And the arenas looked pretty full this week for WWE television.
Yep.
When are AEW and WWE going to Long Island? Were they in Long Island this week, Monday?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Why am I seeing these posts that they're only drawing like 4,000 or 5,000?
Who's this?
Who said that? WWE?
There's some random posts on Facebook like WWE's only drawing 4,000 to 5,000, while AEW.
Well, that's because it's a random. It's an AEW mark that's got AEW's nuts in their mouth. I don't know what they're talking about.
No way. I saw Monday Night Raw looked pretty full to me in the new building.
If you watch Dynamite, the upper deck wasn't even. It was all blocked off.
They blacked it out.
They blacked out the whole upper deck of that building. So anybody who's saying that AEW is outdrawing Raw or SmackDown for crowds is dumb because they're not. And that stupid jackass JT, whatever his name is, from New York, that clown that Mickey Biggs posted, like that kid, I'd love to have a one-on-one conversation with him and make him look like the biggest ass going.
What was that? What did Mickey Biggs put about the guy that Tony Khan posted? That Tony Khan's buying all the tickets?
Yeah.
I don't think Biggs believes that. I think Biggs just put that up because it was cool to read.
Yeah, because the kid that said it's a joke.
And
this idiot, the indie clown, was, he's a reliable source now. No, he's not. He's a bigger clown than Forbesy is. And I like Forbesy.
So what do you guys think about the old new way that is basically coming back into the WWF's or WWE's mentality, which is going back after the collegiate athlete rather than the indie star?
It's going to change the business, I think, in that aspect that they're not looking at indie people anymore, and AEW can have all the indie talent that they want. It's unfortunate.
They want wrestlers to wrestle their way, so why not take them over the collegiate where they don't know, like indies? They're all indies today. They're all spot wrestlers that want to come in and do their spots, and then but you take the guys from the college, take them in, train them the WWE way, so they won't have those like blueprint indie spots all weaved into their minds, so they won't have that indie tradition that they got to train out of you when you get to the performance center.
All right.
Well, I agree with that analogy. I mean, you take somebody who is, never been in the business, and you stick them in the performance center, and you start them from
Holy
scratch.
shit. Do you know who is on right now?
Ricky Morton.
The uh, Wrecking Ball Legursky is on the pay-per-view
Good for him.
with they call it with the Fixers. Kobe Carino is they must have a group.
I don't care much for him.
I don't either. I wrestled Legursky maybe 4 or 5 years ago for Ryan Colson up here in Maine. And he wanted to do these spots, and I go, dude, not for nothing. I know you're a big guy, but I've been wrestling 20 years. You're not going to tell me what to do. We're going to sit and talk before anything.
And his locker room etiquette is the shits.
Yeah, well, that's that new school way, buddy. You know that.
He tried big leaguing me in APW, and I put him right in his place. I said, I don't give a fuck who you are or who big you think you are. I'll pull on rank right now. I'm the veteran of this locker room. You can shut your face or get out. Woody was pissing his pants.
They got Doug Williams right now versus Colby Carino. Doug Williams looks like he is in impeccable shape right now.
For what, 54 years old?
Oh, buddy, he's in great shape right now.
Yeah.
Great shape. Yeah, for some reason lately on my stick, some of the pay-per-views will work, and then the ones with Fight Network have been getting blacked out, so I haven't been able to see GCW the past 2 nights. I'm pissed off.
Well, that's because Fight TV is onto the pirating.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. But you never learn. I've been doing that for years.
That's all right. This pay-per-view is good. As long as I'm able to watch UFC and the other ones, it don't matter.
So, I mean, everyone thinks that because it's going to be Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar at day one, that The Rock is going to fight Reigns at WrestleMania 38 or the next WrestleMania, what number it is. It's not happening. The Rock is not going to wrestle Reigns. I'll be shocked if they're able to pull it off. He's got too much going on in Hollywood right now. And, he's worth way more money to Hollywood than he is to Vince.
Would the tune of $20 million for that one match?
Yeah, well, okay. Let's say, hypothetically, he gets, they offer him that kind of money and he wrestles and he gets hurt and he can't film another movie. 20 million to 200 million. What are you taking? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's just say Black Adam's out by then and he's making a shit ton of money off of Black Adam. You think he's going to take 20 million to put over Roman Reigns? No. No way.
I get you.
He's 52 years old. He you know what I'm saying? I could see if he was still, in his early 40s.
He's how old? I believe he was born in 1972.
So he's 51 then.
It's going to be my age, 50 years old.
Yeah.
I believe his birthday's in either September or August. I'm not.
It's August. Yeah, you're right. No, he's a year younger than me.
Yep, he's I'm a 1 month older than him. That's the only reason how I know. It's because I've seen it come up before.
So if you were the highest grossing actor in Hollywood right now, and Vince said, "Hey, I'm going to throw $20 million at you to wrestle Roman Reigns and put him over," would you do it?
No.
He should make some sort of appearance to some sort of booking with Reigns where he doesn't wrestle or screws him over so he loses or something. Like he should make some sort of
that could probably happen, but for him to be, everybody wants to see The Rock versus Reigns, and I would too, but it's not worth it to him. He's making way too much more money in Hollywood,
Yeah.
So
now he's the black. What is he playing now?
He's Black Adam for DC.
Oh wow, okay. So him and John Cena now are superheroes.
Well, now that John Cena's show is coming out, from the Suicide Squad, you'll never see Cena back in WWE ring again, ever.
Really?
He's gonna be huge, huge.
So you think he's found his
Yeah.
so to speak niche after wrestling?
Yep.
How has he been doing it performing at this character? I've not seen Suicide Squad yet.
You should. I mean, he was John Cena in a superhero outfit. He was bland, but
Yeah.
from the trailer, it looks pretty good. So I'll watch it and see what happens. I mean, I'm not really a DC character person, so but we'll see. You're still muted, dumbass.
When's your next show, Mark?
Next Saturday.
Cena's been looking for his way into Hollywood for some time now. He's got it.
I'll be back in 2 minutes.
Next Saturday is my next show.
Do you know who you're working?
Yeah, it's a 6-man elimination match.
Mike, what'd you get for ink on your neck?
No, my daughter got her first tattoo.
Oh.
You didn't get the urge to go on to yourself?
I went 2 weeks ago. I got ink done, and I'll be going again soon.
So did you ever meet up with these guys that beat up that trainee?
They'll be on the show next month, next Saturday.
You gonna say anything to them?
Oh fuck yeah, I am. I wouldn't be me if I didn't say anything.
I hear you.
I could see if it was a guy, that could protect himself and he fucked up and didn't sell right, but she's 5'2", she's a girl. Get in the ring with me, watch me no sell and see what happens. I'll slap the taste out of her mouth. I've done it before, I'll do it again.
Yeah.
I did it at Killer Kowalski School. Kids talking shit about me, Jay, Wagner, Bo Douglas, and I found out about it. And we all showed up one day. We ended up doing a 6-man tag, and he no-sold me twice. So I painted his fucking face black and blue, slapped the shit right out of him. I go, sell this, and I freaking tattooed him right in the head. He sold it, cried like a little bitch and got out of the ring. I go, next time you want to run your mouth about people, make sure you can back it up. It's the way I was trained.
I'm glad when I was in the ring with you, I was tagging with you.
What? When I went out, when I did the hot tag and chopped everybody and said 2 punches? I warned everybody I was doing it. Freaking, I don't know. I didn't watch much of. I watched like probably the first hour of Raw, and then I passed out because I had worked a 13-hour day that day. I did catch the abortion of the women's tag team match, which
the 10-woman.
Oh my god, that was the shit. It was so bad, so bad, so bad. Poor Liv Morgan missed her freaking finisher twice. She had to go back and do it twice.
I like her too. I like her too. But
yeah, well, you know what it is. It's all about chemistry in the ring. Sometimes either you have it or you don't. And if you don't have it, then it looks forced. And that match was forced, big time.
Do you think that they did the 10-man to try to protect her?
Liv Morgan's not a bad worker. I just think it was just to get everybody involved. I think they did it to just add to the storyline because do I think she's gonna win the title off of Becky Lynch? No. Do I think she should? Yes. But
I do too.
It's just the way it is right now. You know what I mean? If she catches fire between now and day one, and people start getting behind her, then she's got a chance of winning the title. But
that's what really happened with that Battle Royal, kind of put the picture a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends. Like I said, people are fickle. One day they can be booing her, and the next day they'll be all about her and force Vince's hand to give her the title. But We'll see.
This is from our astute producer, Mr. Mickey Biggs. He's out of town. Can't log in.
Unacceptable. You're fired. That's it. I have spoken.
Mike said you're rehired if you make a 30-second opener that we can put to the beginning of the show.
Yeah, instead of this stupid countdown crap.
You know who you would have thought by now would have made a beautiful opener? The guy who makes all them videos that posts. I don't know what his name is. I think his last name ends with an F.
Oh, Fuckstick Forbes?
Yeah.
If you remember when we first started this thing, I was using the old WCCW theme.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for people to send me pictures of themselves so I can make cartoon characters for the Facebook
I'll
page.
send you a
But
picture.
hey, the only person that sent it to me was the indie clown. That was it.
I will send a picture. I'll sit here with my computer, and you can.
Why not?
Next week I'll be asking for it again because he's not gonna send it to me. So
why not just use your Jason Rumble cartoon picture from the Rumble seat that's on Facebook?
Oh yeah, I like that. There you go.
I can send you a picture, a cartoon picture. I know a buddy of mine that made one.
Yeah, I got the one that I made.
I can put it together, but one of the admins is going to have to change it unless somebody wants to make me an admin so I can change it.
Make him an admin. Jason, you can make him an admin.
Yeah, I can. I'll make you an admin. So.
I already got the kazoo on the flying saucer in the corner ready to go.
Oh, Jesus. So with that being said,
come on, guys. Why you got to pick on me because my head's so big?
So I read an article this week, it has nothing to do with being right or wrong. It brought up a great and valid point. And and the valid point was that there was like maybe a 12-month period before the hype of AEW was truly created, that the idea of AEW had already been brought to Vince's desk about the uprise of a new league potentially forming, because there was a huge surge in independent professional wrestling, as we all know. Not only along with the surge that they were having in professional wrestling, companies like Ring of Honor all of a sudden started drawing really good crowds.
Right.
TNA started drawing really good crowds. MLW was drawing and coming up and being noticed.
Well, that's because most of the independent wrestling fans, or the wrestling fans, like the pure wrestling fans, were getting sick and tired of WWE's crap.
Okay.
And I get that. And Forbes, I agree with you on some of what you say, but that is the reason why Ring of Honor, TNA, MLW was all drawn like the way they were drawn.
So
I thought MLW was fantastic.
I'm gonna just let me finish on this so I can really get to where I want to stick on this. So with that being said, there was people on the inside of Vince's office, and for some reason, they say, like, what was the last company Vince bought? Was it not Beyond Wrestling, but
Evolve.
Okay.
Yeah.
His whole retrospect was, I'm gonna buy up all this talent now. I'm gonna buy up all these indie feds, okay? So that when a company like AEW comes along, they won't be able to get anybody. So Vince, they're these people that were inside with Vince, so to speak, they were wondering why he wasn't fearing the companies of like the Ring of Honors and like the higher indies that were starting to come around. Like, he wasn't realistically fearing them. He was fearing what was up and coming and what was talked about with AEW. And they're saying a lot of that, what he soaked up and bought in that time, was for the simple, he was fearing the upstart company before it even got upstart. Which brings me to the whole point of what I'm saying is this is why we're seeing 3 years later the releases, because there's so much talent during that time that was signed that we don't even know who they are.
Yep.
Evidently, guys like this D'Angelo, guys like the guy who fought the Usos brother. Those guys were all part of this, and I never heard of them. So a lot of these guys that they had signed, you say, well, why not get rid of the guys that are making less money that we haven't seen them so we don't miss them? Vince ain't thinking that way. Even though Vince is making money, more money than he ever has, look at the amount of house shows and road shows that the WWE is doing right now. That lucrative money that was once there, theoretically, is not there no longer.
Correct.
So that, in retrospect, that's a huge reason why we've seen the cuts. And the younger talent that you're seeing pushed right now on like the SmackDowns and the Raws, those are the true characters that Vince believes that are going to be the true pillars of his company. And Mike brought it up earlier. Austin Theory is a huge person that Vince McMahon believes of his young talent. Rey Mysterio's son, Dominic Mysterio, is a huge proponent of what the young WWE generation is going to be, and said forth. Humberto Carrillo and his nephew, those are the younger guys that the WWE chose to stay with, along with some of the guys that are coming up in NXT, the Carmelo Hayeses, the To the Moon guy, things
Cameron
of
Grimes.
that nature. Yep. Those are the guys that Vince is looking at that in the next year or two that are going to be the transitional guys that will carry the WWE flagship banner.
The three of you guys can speak to this more so. Do you guys think that like someone like Dominic and Aaliyah need a little bit more seasoning to be more on the main roster?
Yeah, I agree with that. The only reason why Dominic's up is because of who his father is.
Yep.
If his father wasn't a known professional wrestler or worked for Vince before, he'd be in NXT right now.
And from what I understand, he loves El Gato Fantasma.
Yeah.
Now, do you think it also could have started with like tension in the locker room, the tension Cody had, and the tension that the guys from Japan had, the Bucks and Omega? They knew they had tension with WWE. They never signed them. Say, hey, let's try our thing.
There was no tension.
Let me explain something to you, Pelly. Okay, all Cody Rhodes was, and I think he's a talented worker, but in WWE he was a mid-carder at best.
Yep.
At best.
The Bucks, the same thing. If they went to the WWE, they would be a mid-carder at best.
And that's where the tension is, because they knew
it's not tension, it's talent. It's what it is. It is what it is. Like PWI named them the best tag team in the world. No, they should have named them the best overrated tag team in the world, because exactly what they are. They're over.
I'm not going to agree with that.
I won't agree with that either. I'm a Bucks fan. Do I believe on WWE television that they would have got buried? Yeah, to a certain extent. But
I agree.
On NXT, I don't think they would have gotten buried.
But I agree with the overall premise of what Mike is saying.
Yeah, I do. I get you.
Yeah, I said
something that's going to be like that team that's there year by year. But Vince, they could take a 6-month spot, sell some merch, and then become job boys again.
But it's proof in the pudding that guys like the Bucks, Omega, they made the right decision for their career.
Oh, yes.
Without question.
Yeah. But I said the other night, without WWE, there'd be no AEW. So
WWE created AEW without a
Yeah.
question.
But on the same hand, Pelly, you do understand that the Bucks, Omega, and Cody Rhodes all had contract offers in excess of $1 million or more offered to them while they were thinking of creating AEW. You do understand that, right?
because they knew Vince wouldn't make them as big as a Roman Reigns
I
or as big as
understand
a
that.
John Cena.
But
That's why they
what
went
you
to
but what
AEW.
you said is what you said was to, or if a person was listening, they would think that you didn't even know that they were offered contracts by the WWE.
I did not. I apologize.
No, you ain't going to apologize. I'm just letting you know that
But even if they were given contracts, they understand they'd be bigger stars in their own league.
hell yeah. I
Yeah,
think that they knew themselves that after that first unofficial but official show that they put up that super indie pay-per-view that they did, and they seen how they sold that out, I believe that right from there they knew that they didn't need the
There
WWE
it is.
to do it that. Because the
that's what I
first
mean by
pay-per-view was not an AEW. It was basically Ring of Honor lent them all that shit, and they put the pay-per-view on. They seen what it produced, and they're like, "All right, the Bucks
Speaking
go.
of Ring
I
of-
don't need my $5 million." The Cody Rhodes goes, "I don't need my $2.5 million," and Kenny Omega goes, I don't need my $4.5 million with creative control by Vince McMahon.
And that's what I mean by tension. That's what I mean by tension.
Yep.
Speaking of Ring of Honor,
go ahead.
Ring of Honor is not selling their library anymore.
Okay.
And real quick about releases. So, has anybody caught the article? The real reason why Hit Row was released?
No.
So, they were told not to change their song.
Yes, I know. I heard this. Go ahead, Mike. Yeah. I know this.
They were told not to go to the studio and change their song and to stay with the way it is right now. They went against everything they were told to do. So basically they said, well, if that's how you want to be, there's the door.
They wanted to change the song because they released BFAB and
exactly.
What's going on there, producer Mickey Biggs? You found a way to get on, huh?
Can't hear you. That's why you're fired.
All right. So let's keep on talking about that release right there.
Keith Lee was released because he was very pushbackish to everything they wanted to do with him.
Do you blame him?
No, I don't blame him. But they also had a lot to do with Mia Kim as well. She came out and said a bunch of crap, and they asked for an apology, and she said no. So that's the reason why she got shit canned.
Do you think it has a lot to do with that? The past, let's just say, I'll call it like I see it. That I'll say it. If you've been in the business 8 years and younger, you have no respect and you have no respect for fucking professional wrestling. That you're part of the entitled fucking generation.
There you go.
That everything you do, you have to do. And if somebody tells you no, this is the way you do it, you gotta bitch, moan, and frickin' cry instead of earning your way, earning your keep on the card, earning your fucking zebra stripes. That's what it has to do. But I didn't want to come out and say, oh, I know why some of these dudes aren't making it. It's because they're a bunch of cry-baby pieces, POSs, okay, that got their participation trophies all throughout fucking school, and now because they're in the WWE, they feel that the participation trophy still has to exist, and it's bull crap.
Jade, have you heard Top Dollar rap? He thinks he's a good rapper.
He's not bad. He's not bad at all, man. To be honest with you.
All he did was
he's Top Dollar.
he thinks that he's what's his name there, the fat guy that got blown away with Tupac.
Be
Suge
right
Knight,
back, fellas. Be right
No,
back.
no, the other guy,
Biggie Smalls.
Biggie Smalls. That's who he thinks he is.
Listen, so and a lot of it has to do so. Keith Lee's talent got him to the dance.
Yeah, I'm not going to deny that.
No questions about it. NXT, he was the man in NXT. Triple H saw his and see, Triple H is more like you and I, Jay. He's more old school. He's more, you know what I'm saying? He comes from the same school that we came from.
I understand that.
So
Yeah,
that's the reason why these kids that can actually work did well at NXT. And then when you bring them up to the main roster and they want to change their style and do it differently, they cry. So when they cry and don't want to do what they're told, there's the door.
So with that being said, Mike, that means the WWE developmental system is no longer developmental because they're not developing the style of wrestler that they want to be seen on Mondays and Friday nights.
No, that's not true. They are doing that, but the fact of the matter is that because Triple H is who he is and where he came from, and still has the mentality of a professional wrestler, that he lets these guys just do what they did in the indies. And when they think they're ready to come up, so if you remember correctly, back when they were bringing up Keith Lee, and there was a big thing saying that Keith Lee's not ready yet because he wasn't ready. Because when he got up to the main roster and they actually gave him the spotlight or whatever, because he was so used to working the NXT way.
Yes. So with that being said, if NXT is supposed to develop you for Monday Night Raw and SmackDown, I think NXT they created NXT to realistically become that brand.
Yeah,
and
I agree with that.
And it put the quote unquote developmental stage well behind.
Yeah, well,
so
because if you look at it from a fan's point of view, okay, so you have NXT, who at the time when they were the black and gold brand, and they were lighting it up, lighting it up in that feud that they had. Big Keith and Dijak lighting it up like they did.
Yeah,
some of the matches that they had between Keith Lee and Dijak.
What about just go back to original NXT, like when it got the hype before it was going to go basically national? It was just a WWE network entity when they were doing the first ever takeover pay-per-view. That when they came out, they sold out an arena. Like, I believe the product had already been different and changed to that point.
Right. So if you notice, if you watched Raw, okay, if you go back and watch Raw maybe a month ago, and it was that cartoonish bullcrap that Vince has been doing, right? Now watch it for the past 30 days, up till now. If you notice that a lot of the wrestling is more hard hitting, more wrestling than like cartoonish crap. Like,
yep.
You know what I mean? Like more wrestling than showboating, less interviews, because you could tell that Raw and that Triple H just has his hands in it because it's starting to make that turn towards the NXT product. And that's what USA wants. There's an article that came out that said USA is beefing with Vince. And I believe it, because if you could tell that the Raw has changed dramatically in the past 30 days. It's gotten better every week.
I heard that Triple H's health condition is much more than what we've been told.
I've also heard that he's back to work, so who knows? It could be bad, and it was, it's steroids. It could be steroids, or you could actually legitimately have a genetic heart condition.
Yeah.
You know?
And steroids could bring that on.
Yeah, you would know.
Huh. Oh well.
Hey, did you guys
I,
hear anything about the
buddy, I won't deny it. I wanted to make millions of dollars, and I mean, I may not have made millions of dollars, but I did more than the average New England indie wrestler did. And
True.
it was, and if I went based upon just having a regular guy's look at my size, that would have never came about.
No, I agree with that.
That would have never came about for me.
To be perfectly honest with you, and because I ran with you and did what I did with you, that at 50 years old, I'm still working and people still know who I am. So,
you know, is there? I mean, I don't. I can tell you this. I wouldn't take my shirt off in a wrestling ring right now unless I had a good 6 months to train. But you know, I'm happy.
Do you have bitch tits? Is that what you're trying to say?
Do I have? Oh yeah, buddy. I haven't touched a fucking weight in age. It probably like I do every once in a while right now because my plantar fasciitis is starting to heal to a point where I've just started to be able to run full court basketball with my freshman basketball team. So now seeing that I'm able to exercise again, I feel like a firm up session is going to be coming in about 90 days.
Are you going to get in the ring again?
I am, yes. I am.
Hey, guys,
where and when, I just don't know yet.
Have any of you heard about the repackaging of Elias?
Yes.
Yeah, that's it's an eerie thing what they said. So they put him in basically Macho Man gear, and he looked just like Macho Man to the T. And Vince is like, absolutely not.
I heard that. I read that.
Yeah, he goes, absolutely
I always
not.
thought he had a Macho Man look.
It creeped him out so bad that he killed it immediately. Creeped him right out.
So, Mickey Biggs, what's going on? What do you got for us tonight?
Oh, now that I got audio, I can't stay on much longer because everybody over here is getting ready to go back on the road. But there's a lot going on in AEW, WWE, but a couple things that I don't know if you spoke about it earlier that caught my attention was the new NIL program that WWE's putting together.
Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah,
I would love for your analogy on that.
Well, I mean, if they do it correctly, I think it'll be good, but they've got to do it correctly, and they can't. They can't make it a work, and that's what I fear, that they're going to try to make it a work somehow instead of what it actually is.
It's their way of avoiding indie talent, right from college.
I don't know if everybody heard that they just signed to get the trademark back on Tough Enough, so it looks like they may be starting Tough Enough back up.
Yeah, but you won't see any indie talent in Tough Enough.
I think that, I believe that this has John Laurinaitis's fingerprints all over it, because this was the WWE's way of developmental talent before the before the Performance Center, and it was their mindset when the Performance Center first opened.
Look how much talent came out of that, though.
Yeah. I mean, Braun Strowman's one of those guys that was signed that way.
Yeah, you might see him back in WWE, considering who he's dating.
I believe he's on an independent show tonight in his hometown in Wisconsin, and he's donating his $10,000 payday to childhood cancer, I believe it is.
That's an EC3 show.
Yes. Okay.
Have you seen the recent pictures of him?
No.
Holy crap.
Oh my God, he's completely shredded, and he's like got no body fat whatsoever anymore.
Wow.
He's smaller than what he was, but he's shredded.
Guarantee, not guaranteeing, but you'll probably see him back in WWE soon.
I never saw Braun as out of shape though.
No,
No,
he
not
just
that he was out of shape, but he is shredded. He's like a Lex Luger shredded now.
Like kind of what Miro's been doing to himself, because Miro slimmed down
Lex
quite
Luger
a bit.
shredded. Like, I mean, he's like shredded.
I haven't seen it. I gotta look. You guys see the video from them boys yesterday?
I did. I saw what you put up.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
man.
happening. That's definitely happening.
Yeah,
But that's the only place they can go, though, to be honest with you, because WWE won't touch them with a 10-foot pole.
Why do you think the WWE won't touch the Briscoes?
Because they're not their cup of tea. How can you change their look, seriously, and call them the Briscoes? How can you change that look? You have to put teeth in their head to freaking change their look.
So do you? All right, hear me out.
Not happening.
My first Jersey Cup, my first J Cup for Ricky Atatsu, Ricky O, Jersey Championship Wrestling. I remember when those guys actually did wear underwear trunks and had short hair. I wrestled Jay Briscoe.
Their look now, it fits the AEW.
Oh, buddy, their look right now is old school Bray Wyatt. They would have been awesome with the Wyatt family.
Yep.
Yes.
There you go, man.
They just fit the AEW narrative right now. It's and you know, as much as I shit on AEW, and we've gone over this, you take out the WWE side of it, they are what they are, a super indie fed. And again, some of the matches are great. I like the Bryant heel turn. I like it.
Now, can you put Bray with the Briscoes? Now,
no.
Why not? I would rather see Bray with the Briscoes than the Dark Order.
All right, let's put it to you this way. Bray Wyatt comes to a new company. Do you really want him to have the same look that made him money at another place?
Well, that's what everyone's expecting. That's the problem.
Yep.
See, everybody is expecting the Bray Wyatt or the Fiend to show up at AEW, and it's not going to happen.
I don't see it. Like, I think even himself doesn't, like, as a performer, I believe that I wouldn't want to show up even resembling anything that made me the money from the other guy. That's just my whole thing, because then you'll always have that, so to speak, thrown in your face that you couldn't even create something of your own.
Right.
You don't think Wyndham Rotunda can do that?
I didn't.
No.
If he comes out looking like Bray with the beard and the hair and a hat, no. I don't think just being Wyndham Rotunda. Like,
he would have to go back to his Husky Harris look to make a difference in AEW.
I think he would have to come out. I think he would have to come out. He could come out with his long hair. He would have to come out dressed more Texan-like.
Yep.
And resemble the look of a Wyndham or a Blackjack. That's my honest opinion.
Why not? Yeah.
I think he could pull it off. Aleister Black pulled it off, so why couldn't Bray Wyatt pull it off?
All right, here we go again. I'm going to say this again.
Aleister Black.
Do it, Mike. Please.
Aleister Black came to AEW as Aleister Black. All he did was put a contact in his eye and put black around his eye to continue the gimmick from when he got his eye poked out by the stairs. Other than that, there's nothing different.
Not only that, but Aleister Black was Tommy whatever he was on the indies, and he had the same look. You're talking about Bray Wyatt, who never really worked independent wrestling, and if he did, it was a Blackjack gimmick. That's what I'm saying.
He worked 2 indie shows. That was it.
Yeah. So the first and only look he has to the regular wrestling fan is Wyatt family look or the Fiend mask. That you can't. That's what I mean. He wasn't Bray Wyatt on a local indie show. He wasn't Bray Wyatt on Ring of Honor. He wasn't Bray Wyatt. How can he come on TV resembling a persona that was created by Vince McMahon? It cannot happen, because in your mind, people will just say to you, all you could do to stay famous was ride the same coattails that got you there, just it was 3 different letters.
Does Vince have a trademark on fucking beards and hair?
No, but when you look at him, it's the same thing.
He's
Don't be a
man. How is
clown.
he supposed to
Stop
look?
being a clown, you moron. You know what we're talking about.
You know what? Does he have a trademark on beards and hair? That's the stupidest thing I've heard.
But maybe that's why he's not doing anything right now. What else can he pull off? Like, what else can he pull off?
He making a movie. He letting stuff calm down. He's probably watching what shit happens, and he's probably going to pick and choose that where he goes, it's going to be most relevant.
Who came up with the Fiend, Bray or Vince?
I really don't know. That would be an awesome thing to know. But I can tell you this, once whatever he created, if he did not copyright it or patent it,
he didn't. The guy that made the mask was being paid by WWE to make the mask.
Then Vince owns it. Oh, here we go. Here is the man who knows all, bees all, ends all, the proverbial wrestling god himself that Vince McMahon or AEW hasn't hired. We need him so much to professional wrestling. Mr. Vinny, by God, Capelli. His word is the gospel. Bull crap.
I don't have to say nothing. He's doing it for me.
Holy, here we go with the big head. He's Andrew Dice Capelli, the kid I met in the Kowloon in 1999 that I could not stand.
Vin, come on and help me, man.
Hey, he created it. Hickory dickory dock. Vinny Capelli got a small. Oh!
I need to get a green Deadpool head. That's what I need to get.
Oh, I know, we're all marks and we're living in your world, buddy. Go fix a toilet or whatever the hell it is you do for the city of Winthrop or Winchester or whatever it is.
Somerville!
You overrated janitor.
And he's actually a hammer on a construction site. Get it right.
Here we go. It will show all his gospel words. According to Capelli.
Capelli
and I'm sure Bray came up with the idea.
Was Bray's idea. Great.
But Vince had the
mask made. Okay, so now with that being said, Mr. Capelli, if you please could, get Mr. Wyatt on speed dial for us. There he is. He's smarter than you, and we all know it.
You fuck.
Oh my God.
Hickory dickory, we're back in the Kowloon in 1999. Come on, buddy. Give us your gospel.
I was smarter than you in 1999, and it's 2000 and fucking whatever the fuck it is right now. And I'm still.
And I was a better wrestler than you in 1999, and I'm still a better wrestler than you in 2021.
Absolutely, we're better wrestlers. You don't have a better wrestling mind than me.
I don't think so,
Jack. Yeah.
All right. If that was a fact, Jack, right? Where have I been and created for people, and where have you been?
Where have I been?
Yeah. Who have you created for other than myself? I can say that I created for the world famous Savoldi Brothers and NWA on Fire.
What did you create?
I created poop, but I still created things.
Okay. I created stuff for, let me see, the Century Wrestling Alliance and the NWA New England and the VCW, whatever the fuck you called it. Oh, that's right. I created it for you, Jay. That's right. I forgot. You got
That's
something you want to say
right.
now?
The greatest
or how
mind in
about yourself?
professional wrestling today.
Anyways,
And
Mike
here
is
we
correct.
go.
So Mike is correct. Vince did have that mask made. It
Yep.
was the Fiend gimmick itself. The character of the Fiend was Bray's idea. That's why he was so protective of it. It was Bray's idea.
It's
Vince
his
liked
baby,
it.
yes.
Vince liked it. I'm sorry, I'm also watching the Bruins. Vince liked it. Vince obviously with him made it. Bray's, obviously Bray can't trademark it because at the end of the day, it's Vince's. I mean, it's Vince's character. I mean, even though Bray created it, it's Vince's character.
So
he
basically,
trademark it.
What Mike and I reiterated on, you just gave it validity. Or validity, whatever what you want to call validity.
Right.
You put validity to the story. Yes, that's what we're saying. And the whole thing that I'm just trying to put over is that the fact that Bray never had an indie persona, theoretically. He did 2 independent matches. Okay. It's different than a guy named Aleister Black who was Tommy whatever. And Tommy End, and he had the same look that when he went to NXT, went to WWE, and then left that promotion. It's much easier for a guy that has looked that way well before his character was created to come upon another promotion and basically continue to dribble the same ball that he dribbled for another promotion. Yes.
Same thing. Yeah. CM Punk. Yeah.
So
Bray wouldn't be able. Listen, any character the only character I think that Bray would survive in another promotion would probably be the Bray Wyatt character he portrayed. The Eater of Worlds type of character. The Fiend gimmick ain't gonna get over anymore because he can do it, but it's gonna be a different version of it. Yeah. I mean, look, Finn Balor did the Demon gimmick elsewhere as well. But at the end of the day, I mean, it wasn't overused. I think, you're right, 100%. Bray was, his gimmick prior to Bray Wyatt was Husky Harris. That ain't going to go over.
No. But what I'm saying is, to me, say Vince, I've never been an indie character. Vince created Jason Rage, so to speak. And all of a sudden, I leave the WWE, and the WWE, and so to speak, the wrestling fan base only knows the persona as Jason Rage. I go to another promotion. I really can't utilize what got me to the dance because I believe in the back of a great performer's mind, you want to create something on your own, and you don't want the critics to say, you're just you with a different last name, but you're using what the WWE created for you. That's just where I'm getting at. I don't think.
Are you saying it like in the sense of like let's use Todd for example. Todd really made his name as Warbeard, in the Indies, right? Then him and Eric together made their name as War Machine. And then they come to the WWE and are called the Viking Raiders, and his name is changed to Ivar.
Yep. But there's a team that tomorrow could go to AEW and could become War Machine again and utilize the same persona they have. I just don't think if Bray Wyatt shows up to AEW with a hat on, a long beard, and one of those goofy-looking casino shirts and a pair of pants, that right away he's just looking like he's the guy that was on WWE television.
Yeah,
but
what about LOD?
Hold up. But I believe he could come out with a beard, with his long hair, with a pair of like Levi's jeans on, with a pair of cool looking sadistic cowboy boots and like a vest, and he could portray it being differently.
Yes.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. If I was AEW and I was writing, you know what gimmick I would write for Bray? You ever see the movie? It's a Rob Zombie movie. It's like House of a Thousand Corpses.
Yes.
Okay. Bray could fit that gimmick. Like that type of backwoods, fucking psychotic, fucking like
Like the
potentially a
Briscoes.
fucking Leatherface looking motherfucker type family.
Yeah, like the Briscoes. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that could work for him, but it'd have to work on a more of a sadistic level. You know, for Bray to do anything right, he would have to use that or utilize that whole the thing on Twitter, the cult of Wyndham. They'd have to utilize that. They'd have to build off of that.
But he
For
could
him-
never come in and be join Aleister Black, because Aleister Black right now, to me, is a leader of a group, correct?
Is he a leader of a group? He's more of a solo act, no?
Well, yeah, he's a guy that marches to the beat of his own drummer. But could you see Aleister Black coming in and going side by side? Could you see Bray Wyatt coming in and going side by side with Aleister Black, or does he fit better going with the Dark Order if he was to be in the AEW?
So, what I would do, look, if I was writing, I would have Aleister Black kind of like trying to take down the Dark Order, and to the point where Hangman Page is gone. You got to get him away from them. And I would have the Dark Order kind of feel lost. Aleister Black kind of, trying to take them apart. And in comes Bray Wyatt to save the Dark Order. And feud with Aleister Black. Not be side by side. Gimmick-wise, it would probably make more sense. And it would probably be better television and better story to have something like that happen versus, him and Black together. Just similar gimmicks. You don't want, that's the thing. And I think Mike and Pelly and I think everyone kind of would agree that Aleister Black is a similar gimmick to anything that would be like the Fiend or some dark and evil and menacing. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. I would put the Fiend. I'd put Bray with the Dark Order. Because also there's that the fans would want that. You give the fans what they want. They'd want to see him with Brody's, gimmick.
So I'd love to hear your perspective on this. Mike, we were talking earlier, me and Mike and Forbesy and Belly. And the whole Rock thing right now seems to, now that I understand the movie he's doing, and Mike Mike came up with huge probably some of the best stuff he's come up with in a long time. Really, Mike, your analogy on this was, spot on, because he's doing a superhero movie, and does going into the WWE and I said to Mike, does he do it for $20 million? And Mike says to me, if you was this new superhero, $20 million doesn't even add up to the potentiality that this guy is going to pocket $200 million. And does $20 million, is it that really lucrative to you when on the flip side of it, you could be throwing away hundreds and millions of potential dollars just for one wrestling match? Because let's just face it, The Rock, every time he's come back, something's happened.
Yeah. So a couple things on that. I mean, a little history on the actual character, the Black Adam character. Technically, it's he's the anti-hero. He's kind of a, he's been a heel, and he's kind of a heel hero in a way. He's not really a hero, but the character itself, I can't see The Rock, for $20 million, a lot of people will do $20 million is a lot of money for one night. But in the same token, The Rock has a lot of say in what's going on with what's called the DCEU, which is Detective Comics Extended Universe, and that's what he's become part of. And he's getting a lot of say into what's going on with the movies and such. And again, I mentioned this before in the past. You got to remember, Hollywood, there's big insurance things on him, especially where the caliber. I mean, I hate to say it, but I mean, The Rock has become an A-list movie star. He is. He's become an A-list
today's
movie
Arnold
star.
Schwarzenegger.
He is, but he's Schwarzenegger and Stallone together, because he's just that high on the list.
Yes.
And there's a lot of insurance things on him. you know, what you have to look at it realistically. Yes, it's $20 million, but like you and Mike said, on the long haul, he's probably gonna make long term well over $100 million from that movie. And if it goes well, it's going to be a multi-movie deal.
It already
involved
is.
in involved in other movies.
Yeah,
in the
Shazam.
character. And if he has such, like, honestly, he is the Robert Downey Jr. of the Avenger movies now for the DC movies.
Okay.
Yep.
They have him so heavily involved right now. I mean, I don't see it. If I was The Rock, I'd say thank you, but no thank you. $20 million, like you said. He goes out there, tears a pec. He's done for 8 months. He goes out and tears his Achilles, tears his knee up. He's done for a year. He can't make movies.
So with that being said, do you think him and John Cena have seen their last time in the WWE ring, with Cena now signing on and having his own show now with being a superhero from the influx of him being in the Suicide Squad?
Yeah, and Cena's getting more and more deals. If you notice, Cena's doing a lot of commercials. His voice.
He's the voice of Honda.
Yes. He's also becoming a new voice for Disney in the Pixar movies. I do. I think Cena's farewell was the Roman Reigns match.
Okay.
What happened at SummerSlam, Jay? They had to call in Cena to sell the pay-per-view, right? After that match, he's gone. What happens if they do get The Rock? Where do they pivot to after The Rock's gone? They need to build fucking stars, and they're not.
I said that last time, and you agreed with me. The problem is that they're not.
Look at the love fest.
No, where do they?
They're not
pivot
building
to
the
after
next
Rock?
guy, and that's the problem.
Who's credible to beat Roman after The Rock? There is nobody. That's the problem.
So this is how I'm going to leave it right here. The Fiend doesn't sign nowhere. Enjoys doing his movie in Australia, or wherever the hell he's at right now. We're 90 days outside of WrestleMania, and we need a surprise. Does Vince McMahon lay it all on the line, and the ultimate surprise is the Fiend at WrestleMania?
No, because I think there was too. I personally don't think so, because there was enough heat there and enough discord amongst, Vinny and his big three morons versus Bray. I don't see Bray going back anytime soon. Not there.
Well, let's just say this. We have 2 months leading up to, say, 90 days right now. What if over these next 60 days, they're able to start schmoozing things over with the potentiality of being able to talk with Bray? People like Triple H start to get healthier. I've been told that his health problems could be worse than what we've been led to believe. But then there's been reports that he's actually not been spotted backstage, but it's been known that he's been adding his 2 cents in on Monday Night Raw. Can this be smoothed over? If you were to say, if he was to just say, listen, you and I talk. Johnny and the other bozo, they're not part of you and me, Vince. And Triple H becomes a liaison with this to get him back. Do you think that maybe he might flip, like just to do, like give a little something, just an opinion?
All right, I'm gonna pose a scenario, and I'm gonna pose it to Mike, and Mike's gonna answer the question. So, Mike, you're Apocalypse, okay? You come up with the idea of Apocalypse. You're in the WWE. Apocalypse becomes probably the biggest fucking thing since The Undertaker, right? It's over like a motherfucker. And all of a sudden, you're told you're gonna drop it. You become the champ. And then you have to drop the belt to fucking Goldberg. You don't like that idea, and they fucking job you out. Then for the next couple of months, you're up and down, you're up and down, you're up and down. They book you, they don't book you. They book you, they don't book you. And everything's coming from the same people over and over then. Kevin Dunn, Johnny Ace, Bruce Pritchard. And you know full well that they are in the ear of Vince and have been in the ear of Vince since early 2000, let's just say. Then you go through everything that he went through, identical. Then you'll let go after dealing with when you admit that, hey, I've been dealing with some mental illness and everything else, then they let you go. You as a professional wrestler, with all the bullshit that you just went through, are you going to look at that company and say, I want to go back? Be honest.
Taking money out of it and everything, no, I wouldn't go back.
There you go. Now, you just said it. Do you honestly think Vince looks at Bray Wyatt and thinks he is going to put the asses in the seats?
Yes.
Because if he did.
Yes, I do.
Yes, he does.
Yes, I do. I'm sorry, buddy.
And hold on, Jake, because the simple fact is when they let him go, he was their top merchandise seller.
Oh, I know.
So
I agree.
So therefore, because there's arguments.
So
arguments, though. Think about it. Like,
I don't believe everything.
He never let the Undertaker go, and the Undertaker argued with him all the time. Stone Cold, Shawn Michaels, all those guys, they always argued with Vince. They never got let go.
Well,
am I right?
They let Nia Jax go because she wanted more time off to deal with mental issues. I
agree, but is Nia Jax one of them? No. Now, if that was Charlotte Flair, do you think they would have let Charlotte Flair go? Or do you think she's backstage arguing?
Oh, I hope they
I'll
do.
be honest with you. I really think feelings can change because it's not like it was 30 days ago that these episodes happened. By the time WrestleMania and February and March roll around, we're talking, it's almost been a year that The Fiend hasn't been around to a certain extent.
That's
why I believe it could happen. That's like, Capelli, you know as well as I do, you've been around Tony Rumble. Everybody's been around Tony Rumble here on this, or I've heard of him. And one of the things that he would always say, and one of the things that Walter would always say, wrestling's written in pencil. Always will be and always has. And as long as Vince McMahon's around, scripts get torn up all the time. So to sit here and say never, why can't they mend fences?
I don't say never say never. But
him and Moxley mended their fences.
Yeah, but Bray's been mishandled for a decade, man.
It's funny because every report the reports I read said that Vince again, I don't know. I've read that it's not true that the WWE paid for Moxley's fucking rehab. That it's not true.
Okay.
I read that it is true.
And you guys heard it was. I heard it wasn't. I heard Renee Paquette said it's not true that the WWE did not pay for it. Who knows? I mean, but Moxley won't go back to the WWE. Not after he blasted him on his fucking book.
And then he had a conversation with Vince for 2 hours.
He blasted him in their book. Or his book, whatever the fuck book it was.
Yeah, but then he ran to the Vince at a hotel and they talked for 2 hours. He even came out and said that it happened. So
yeah, but talking doesn't necessarily mend fences in business. Maybe it mends fences personally, but not in business. I mean, business and personal, you got to remember, it's very different. I mean, you guys know this.
Yeah.
It's a wrestling business. Yep. You know what I mean?
But the thing is too, is before his book ever came out, I put the report up on what Moxley said that he could see himself making a return to WWE. And I think Vince respects people when they come out and they talk right and they give an honest opinion.
Can I tell you something though? Anybody, it's you work a job and you work a job for say 10 years. You want to leave your job to go make more money. You don't go shooting your mouth out the door. You don't burn a bridge.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Oh, I can see myself.
I agree with that.
Yeah, you don't burn a bridge. I mean, but he can shoot it. I mean, he did shoot on him. And I don't see it coming back anytime soon. But look, if Bruno Sammartino can go into the Hall of Fame after everything he said about Vince, then again, you never say never.
But you also have to understand, Chris, and you know this better than anybody else. This business is built on criticism. And if you can't take criticism for doing something wrong, then you shouldn't be in the business.
That's right.
Of course it is. I agree 100% there. There's no doubt in my mind. I mean, look, listen to us. 5 critics right here are very critical of the product that we see.
And I think, I'll be
Well,
honest,
4, and Forbes is like a side note. No, I'm just kidding, Forbes.
I watched the most wrestling that I have this week. I was able to catch up with everything, and the worst 2 things I probably seen, or 3 worst things I seen, 2 came from AEW, 1 came from NXT. The other stuff I was willing to accept. I didn't think Raw was all that bad. I thought SmackDown was a decent product. I hated the NXT 2.0 guys who came out and cut promos. You can get rid of the blonde Aussie. You can get rid of Tony D'Angelo, the stereotypical Rocky Bozo Guinea. And please get Braun Breaker the fuck off my TV. He is horrible. Okay,
hey, he's the next big thing. That's what everybody's saying.
Scott, Jay, I hope not.
Jay, you like 2-Pie Tony Storm that looked like the thumbnail on Pornhub?
I can't stand the fact that Braun Breaker's the usual stereotypical juice monkey that just because he got muscles and his goofy looking goatee that he's tough as pie. I hate it. Carmelo Hayes is the only guy I like, but his gimmick is stereotypical too, and it's why people it's why people stereotype certain youth and certain races is because he's doing it, but he's a talented guy. I thought
I don't like the gimmick. I don't like.
I thought 2.0 guys don't give. There's nothing. Jade Cargill, who would be nothing but a WWE developmental talent, but she has TV look. Her in-ring skills are still lacking. When she did that pump kick at the end of the match, she totally missed the broad. And then I'll pull it up for you. The picture of sunburned Cody Rhodes right there. That's him already peeled, and AEW Mox believing that they believe that's what he did, and when he went through the table was real. It wasn't. It was the word. It was up there with their botched pyrotechnical match with the exploding ring, and the Mox thought it was incredible that he burnt. He did not burn. He was already peeling from sunburn prior. I thought those were the 3 worst things I basically saw on wrestling this week. Other than that, I thought everything was pretty all right. What do you pull out of this week? What did you like? What didn't you like?
I just one thing I'll point out we haven't pointed out yet. I hope Arn Anderson's okay.
Oh, yeah, he took a hell of a bump off the stage.
Oh, did he ever?
Yeah, after the padding that was underneath it. Again, like I said, Raw. I didn't get to watch the whole thing because I worked stupid hours.
Capelli, what stood out to you this week on wrestling at all? Anything?
I didn't watch everything. I kind of did the week of wrestling in a half hour fast forward type of gimmick and picked up the highlights. I didn't think Raw was great, to be quite honest with you. I once again find Raw to be very lacking, and its storytelling is not good.
Yeah, sorry, Capelli. We didn't talk about the promo that Edge and Miz did.
Oh,
That was the only.
Here, look at Forbes. You line up like a Christmas tree after you had a freaking.
My opinion of that is their counter to the MJF CM Punk interview.
Rent free, baby.
That was really the only good part of Raw, in my opinion.
Rent free. Shut the hell up, you dork.
Hey, I never said it was bad. Never said it was bad.
SmackDown.
If you're going to tell me that AEW didn't influence that, you're just being irresponsible.
Of course
they did. Yeah, they did.
SmackDown, okay. Didn't like the way that they kind of jobbed Sami Zayn. I would have preferred to have seen actual match. Everybody knew it's going to be Brock and fucking what's his face day one. But other than that, SmackDown was a better show. AEW had its moments, had some good matches. Wasn't happy with on AEW. What was it?
Rampage is an epic failure, man. It's an epic failure. It's a tired crowd. It's taped. It's just it's terrible.
I thought the matches were good on it.
They were, Jay, but the crowd is dead.
Jeff, thank you very much. So you thought that the Liv Morgan and Becky contract signed, and you were a fan of that.
Hey, that was a good promo by Liv. Good promo by Liv.
Shooting a little bit there, but honestly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The problem is they're not going to put the belt on her.
Nope.
That's a sad thing.
Well, right now, I'll be honest, there's only you got two personas, maybe three, that really deserve the belt. Sasha Banks, Becky, and Charlotte. Other than that, the others are just followers. Tony
Bianca
Storm.
Belair. She had a great run. She's losing it a bit. Bianca Belair.
Who's this? Bailey coming back is actually this is a huge time for Bailey on her comeback because she probably can take the women's division by storm, I think.
Oh, yes.
Hey,
the fans are going to want her. Like, this will be huge for her.
You guys know that the Bellas have like a Sirius XM radio show?
No.
Fuck the Bellas.
Yeah, they're talking about doing a 4 horsewomen match between the 4 horsewomen, Trish, Lita, and the Bella Twins.
In the air tonight, and
why?
Don't belong in that company, man.
Okay, so which 4 horsewomen? The real 4 horsewomen with Ronda Rousey and her girls, or the fake 4 horsewomen?
The fake 4 horsewomen. Bailey, Sasha, Becky, and Charlotte versus Trish, Lita, and the Bella Twins at Mania. Texas. I like the idea, but the Bella Twins have no business in that company. None.
Not anymore.
Nope, not anymore. That's right. Go to AEW.
Why would it make sense? Why would it make sense to have the Bellas, Trish, and Lita go over? Because that's exactly what would happen over probably the 4 best female wrestlers, 4 of the best female wrestlers in the WWE today.
And I'll put it to you this way. 3 out of 4 of them transitioned. All 4 of them helped transition the sport of women's professional wrestling.
Yep.
Not only are they 4 of the best that are currently in the sport, they're 4 that put women's professional wrestling on the map. In my honest opinion.
I agree.
So the Bruins putting you to sleep that much?
The game's over. They lost in overtime.
So what is it? Another one of them games that was ESPN Plus only?
No. It was on Nesson.
Okay.
Hey Jay, how do you feel about getting 163 batting average Jackie Bradley Jr. back?
I don't think it had anything to do with getting him back. It had to do with getting rid of Hunter. I cannot hit for the life of me in the playoffs, Renfro. And
those prospects suck, dude.
They sold high. They were going after the third baseman. That's who they wanted.
You like 47-year-old Rich Hill and Mount
Everest?
Do
I like 47? Is he really 47?
He's up there, dude. He's up there.
Listen,
he's a replacement for Erod.
I'm gonna say this like I said to another person. Baseball's economy right now is not like it used to be, okay? that you're going to find the teams that have signed all these huge lucrative deals in the next 5 years are going to have a hard time paying that money off. Baseball does not pull in the type of money it used to. Okay. Certain baseball is not baseball is now a regional sport where it's more followed like NHL hockey in its state.
So why are you going to get rid of a $2 million contract for a $12 million contract in JBJ?
You know, I really would love to answer that, but I honestly believe that that Bloom was doing it just for to have the prospects in the organization. I believe having more prospects in the organization could help with the trade down the line. Other than that, I believe this Red Sox team, it's also a sign that John Henry and the ownership group do not want to put money into the Red Sox.
He's buying the Penguins. What do you
already did buy the
expect?
Penguins. It's all done 2 weeks ago. All signed, sealed, delivered. So now he owns a race car thing. He owns a soccer team, and he owns a hockey team. Okay. And the economics of baseball, this is why they did what they did. That's all.
I wouldn't be surprised if he sells the Red Sox.
I wouldn't be either. And I think he's still pissed off for signing Chris Sale to that huge deal. That's why he got himself a guy who's a Billy Bean, Tampa Bay Rays style of guy. Listen, hear me and understand this. The Red Sox had a crap pitching staff this year and still managed to make it as far as they did. It kept people interested, and it did exactly what it did. Isn't that the same thing that's been happening in Tampa Bay, and they can't even sell out their stadium, that quite possibly that team is going to be playing 50% of their games in Montreal if the vote is passed?
Bring back those Expos, baby.
Will never be the Expos again. It'll be an American League team, and they'll call them the Rays still, because Rays could mean sunshine. Doesn't have to mean Tampa Bay, a Devil Ray. That's one of the main reasons why they changed the colors, and they didn't want to be known as the Devil Rays no more, because they were the Rays, and they were very close to going to North Carolina.
Stand a chance against.
Why are we talking about a fucking sport right now that doesn't even that's been that players have been locked out? And you're probably not going to see it come fucking April. How about we talk about something?
Are they locked out? They officially get locked out?
Yep.
Yeah, they're locked out. Why do we talk about something relevant like you could say goodbye to after the end of the season of raping chicks and throwing picks? Ben Roethlisberger. He's leaving. All done. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Ben. Rookie of the year, Mac Jones, going up against the choke artists themselves, the Buffalo fucking Bills this week.
I remember a guy back in the day, a good friend of mine, when Tom Brady took over the helm at the New England Patriots. My buddy went out and he bought a number 11 Drew Bledsoe jersey with the Buffalo Bills. I forget who he is.
Who are we talking about?
Oh, Mr. Capelli, you remember that?
I didn't never own a Buffalo Bills jersey.
You bought a Drew Bledsoe Buffalo Bills shirt.
Don't lie.
No,
Don't lie, Chris.
Yes,
Don't lie.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You bought a Buffalo Bills. It was a white one. Yes, you did. You owned a white Buffalo Bills.
No, dickhead.
Drew Bledsoe.
That white jersey was a fucking Drew Bledsoe Patriots.
No, I remember because it had the new top with the bull crap.
I've never owned a fucking Buffalo Bills jersey.
Yes, you did.
A day in my
life. I remember when you got it. I remember when you got it. We gave you crap. You're like, Drew's still my guy.
No, Drew was my guy, but I never bought a Buffalo Bills jersey.
Yes, you did. Come on.
No, Jay, you got the
Wow.
wrong. Jay, we're talking about your memory versus mine here. I think I know, pal. I'm like a fucking
Buddy,
elephant here.
my memory
I
versus
do
yours.
not
I can
ever
also remember a guy that liked the baseball player on the Houston Astros because he had a cool name. Lance Berkman. I remember that back in the day.
What's wrong with Lance Berkman? Nothing wrong with Lance Berkman.
You
I
own
like
the
the other
Drew
guy.
Bledsoe shirt by the
Never
Bills.
happened.
Mike was right. Mike, I'm telling. Listen, sorry,
you
buddy.
Listen. You would say you smelled fucking shit and smelled like ice cream. Mike would fucking agree, be like, yeah.
Bullshit.
You did.
That's a crock of shit. You know it. You bald-headed freak. Shut up.
You'd fucking anything involving me. If it's untrue, you'd be like, yeah, you did. This is
Why
coming
can't
from
you just admit it?
Jay.
You had a
honestly
Buffalo
expect-
Bills hat to go with it. It was a trucker kind.
No, I didn't.
Yes, it was. You had a Buffalo Bills hat, and we made fun of it because it looked really big on your head.
The only team I've ever worn another hat, I should say, that I hated was the New York Yankees. I mean, I've any team I'm a fan of, I'll buy the hat.
I can't stand for that.
I'm sorry, buddy, but I agree to disagree.
You need to shut up, you pink hat.
I remember you went out and you bought the Drew Bledsoe Buffalo Bills jersey, and your exact words were the first day of the NFL season, you came over my house. That's when I had the NFL Sunday ticket. I lived on Fulton Street. You came over, you had the Bills shirt on, the Bills hat on. I remember it like it was yesterday. I remember your words going, kid, I'm a Drew Bledsoe fan.
Oh, God. Jay, and if you're going to tell me your source is the guy that told us he was from Brooklyn, New York, when he grew up in fucking Springfield, pal, you got fucking balls.
I remember it.
Hey, Jay.
I remember it.
Jay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna burst your bubble right now. That wasn't Capelli. That was Charisma.
Charisma couldn't afford. He bought crack. He would never buy himself a fucking football shirt.
Hey, speaking of Charisma, my wife saw him at her work.
Oh, wow.
He was like, "Oh, tell Capelli I said hi." I'm like, "Yeah, that's nice."
So anyways, that being said, listen, let's just get to the closing comments here. Tomorrow we have War Games, NXT. Is anybody watching?
I will watch some of it, but then I'll try.
Negative.
I have hammers to hammer.
What about you, the Indie Clown? Are you going to watch the NXT pay-per-view?
No.
If I'm not watching, I might be reading this book right here. It's a nice read. It's $15.99 on Amazon.
Okay, Mick Foley. Anyway.
Oh shit. Well,
I'm inspired to write a book.
The Great Kazoo knows it all.
What's it gonna be about?
About listening to fucking clowns like you.
Oh gee, dang.
That's gimmick infringement. So shut your face. That's my word.
Oh, I'm sorry, Forbesy. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say a gimmick.
So then that means I must be a horrible person that I bought 2 different Tom Brady jerseys on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Because you're a bandwagon
fucking
jumper,
fag, pussy.
It's because I'm a realist and I know without Tom Brady, the Patriots would be nothing. I'm a Brady fan.
They're something right now, aren't they? So go fuck yourself.
Oh my God. And I have 2 Mac Jones jerseys too. And I bought them well before he was the starter. I bought him when he was still wearing the number 50.
Fucking homer.
That's right.
This has been a great 2 hours.
I knew Mac Jones was going to be Mac Jones before he knew it.
Oh, here we go. Were
you rubbing the kazoo head to get the future?
Listen. I said there was a reason. I always thought he was a good guy. I thought he was a good quarterback when he was with Alabama. Do I believe the hype of the Alabama quarterback did not make a good pro quarterback? You bet your ass I did. Because none of them really came to none of them have really ever panned out. Even Tua is being second guessed, and the Dolphins don't know if they want to keep him.
He's coming back next game, and then we'll have to
We're lucky,
meet and talk about the Lions with Butch and
But Monday night will be a great night.
hopefully he can just continue pick up where
I will not be watching Raw.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting Monday night.
So, all right,
prediction. I got a quick question.
Yep.
Prediction. On day one, is Big E dropping the belt to Seth?
Yes.
Yep,
I
agree.
think
I like it. I think
Big E does nothing to move the needle. I think Big E does nothing being the main name on the marquee.
Hey, is it a three-way or one-on-one?
No.
Three-way.
No KO?
Is it a three-way?
Three-way.
Three-way.
Yeah,
Because remember, at the end of Raw, Seth
I'm going with
interfered
KO.
and disqualified.
I'm going with KO.
Oh, all right. You go with KO. I can see that too. Trying to butter him up so he doesn't leave.
Yep.
No, that ain't. No, KO will be used as the person who takes the pin.
That's what they're saying right now. I've heard that everywhere.
KO is taking the pin.
Well, if he takes the pin, then he's out.
Yep. I can see that. Definitely see that.
We'll see. I don't think he's going to go anywhere, but that's just me.
I'm with you, Mike. I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he's comfortable where he's at.
Yep.
Same here.
There's no guarantee AEW will sign him.
Yep.
No,
It's no guarantee that he gets a spotlight with the you know what I mean?
With the overcrowded roster they have. Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
Adam Cole.
Besides, if Vince throws him another $1.5–2 million, why would you leave?
True that.
How do we all feel about Adam Cole?
How do we feel about Adam Cole? Adam Cole has just become a circus sideshow, baby.
He's become a shell. He became a shell of what he used to be.
Yeah.
When Omega comes back, dude, he's taking over, and he's going to be in the title picture. Him and Omega are going to go. They're going to be the program for Double or Nothing. I'm calling that right now. Adam
right
Cole,
now, he's not what he was in NXT at all.
Tell me that
Nothing.
Adam Cole isn't over despite his positioning. He is fucking over.
Oh, I'm willing to admit that when he comes out, yes, the crowd is 110% beside him. But
he's
as
over
far
more than Punk and Daniel.
yeah, but I'm just saying his
Punk's getting boring already. So
his in-ring skills are not the hype of his music and/or walk to the ring.
Him and Omega, the program, Double or Nothing. That's the match.
You know.
well, I'll tell you right now, if O'Reilly does not resign with WWE and ends up in AEW, then they are going to do what they're going to do.
Undisputed Era. Under different, or if KO goes, it'll be the Mount Rushmore deal. Something on those lines where Adam Cole is not a sidecar. He will be the main event.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
It just doesn't. It's not working with him back with the Elite. It doesn't work.
No.
But it's going to work while Omega is out, and that's where the fractures will begin, like all during that time. He has the opportunity here to be the main guy with Omega out, and the fractures will begin.
I can see it. All right, fellas. It's been a good show.
Good 2 hours of arguing between Capelli and Jay. It's great.
I love it though. We had to do it.
But yeah, it can't be too. I didn't log in until fucking an hour and 30 minutes into the show. So
it was
get
the
your
best
fucking
hour.
time right, fuckface.
Shut up.
Hey,
get your time
Listen,
right.
go freaking shine that big dome of yours.
Hey, Capelli, thanks for coming.
Shine that bald head of yours.
Capelli, yeah, thank you for coming on. Forbesy creamed his pants.
Yeah, even though it was only an hour, it was 1 hour of absolute gospel, baby.
The gospel according to Capelli.
This is ask some more. How do his nuts taste, you jerk off?
Pelly, where do we find your book? Let's get a plug for the book again.
Amazon. Adam Jack Pelly. Just type it in on Amazon. Fisherman's Game, $15.99. $30 hardcover. If you got a Kindle, $8.99.
Don't type
Fisher
in Mick
McCoy.
Foley because it will not go to that book.
When are you gonna get the voice? I want the voice transcript.
Oh, here we
Mickey
go.
Bates
Again
said
with
he's
the
working on it.
Oh, good. Yep.
This coming from the fucking guy who thought I was
Come
going
on,
to
I
Buffalo
don't
Bills
like
fucking
reading
guy.
books. I
Can't
just want to
read.
hear them.
You
Fucking guy
did.
can't read.
You own the Bills jersey.
It wasn't
You're wrong.
Capelli.
You're
It was
wrong.
not Capelli.
You're wrong.
My
It was
appearance has
Capelli.
been brought to you by Dr. Leonard.
Oh,
Ah,
Oh, you're finally starting to get some hair. Did you and your nephew get the hair I sent you? I shaved the sides of my head. I figured I'd send you the remnants and you both can start it.
4
yeah,
out of the 5.
your hair's not multicolored like the clown that you are.
It will be. It will be by next week.
Then it falls out again.
It's funny. It's funny that the 3 out of 5 of us have got the disease, the male pattern baldness. Me and Jay are the only ones with full heads.
It's not a
wait,
disease,
here
my
we go.
friend.
Here we go.
It's not
Here
a
we go.
disease. It's a fucking pleasure. I am solar powered, baby. I'm a solar
That's
powered
a lot
sex
of solar
machine.
power going
Oh,
on in
yeah.
that dome. Jesus Christ.
Solar powered.
I don't
That's
know
why
how
I'm
you fit a
indoors.
helmet. I don't know how you get a
That's why I'm
helmet to fit
indoors.
that head.
That was a good one, solar powered.
Solar. Look at that. I'm fucking solar, baby. Look at that.
There you go.
I got my
Capelli, how do you-
transition glasses. I'm good.
Capelli,
Great
how do you buy a
fucking hair.
motorcycle helmet? What size helmet
Selling
are
my
you?
motorcycle.
What?
You need to be slapped.
Selling it.
Why?
Because I'm buying a car.
So you're not going to ride anymore?
I'll ride eventually again, but I think I want a muscle car. I want a new project. I want to get a muscle car and put some money and rebuild a car now.
What are you selling it for?
I don't know. I'm not going to do it until the fucking spring. See what it's worth. Take it from there.
Wow.
I was just curious how you get a helmet. Do you have to put like a special kind of plaster on it to make it?
Oh my God. Listen,
And then
the
paint it
reason why
green.
my head is so fucking big is because I'm so fucking smart and you fucking
knew that was
jabroni.
You
Don't
understand? You
fucking-
only need a piece of your brain the size of a pea to be
All knowing.
to function. You mean that's a lot of fucking wasted space?
He's regretting coming on this show tonight.
I love you, buddy.
All right, listen, Farmer Fred, are you done here now?
Hey, Vinny Capelli Dice Clay. Oh.
Farmer Fred. That's even better.
Farmer Fred grew himself some really good.
Hey,
I'm sure
hey,
you did.
the Gulla's
Tons
one
of
of it.
it.
Joe Gulla died, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
so
sucks.
maybe we should end the show with a fucking, with a shout out to, Joe, and hopefully you rest in peace, man.
Yeah, Ralph Scalanti. Ralph just put something up. Chrome Dome Capelli.
Ralph just shut the fuck up, or I ain't coming to his house to do any electrical work.
What do you mean you're not coming to my house? Jesus Christ, I need to get shit fixed.
Hey, he just said he misses us, guys. Ralph, we miss you too, buddy. So,
Yeah,
all
so,
right,
hey,
fellas.
shout out to the House of Pain and the Gullas. They were, Joe was a great guy. Both of them are, but sorry to see he passed away, and hopefully he's at a more peaceful place after his battle with cancer.
I'm gonna post my match with him up tomorrow from YouTube.
Good.
It was my first ever match in CWA. Was with them guys.
I was putting the ring with them a lot in NWA.
The wake is Tuesday. Thank you for letting us know, Ralph. All right, fellas. So with that being said, anybody got any potting shots they'd like to talk real quick?
Go ahead. I'm good for now. No,
All right.
nothing.
Well, to everyone out in Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube, thank you for your support and watching the product. And for those wrestling fans, tomorrow tune in for NXT War Games and continue to support professional wrestling.
Some of these big nights he's got.
You got something to say there smarter than you, Marks?
You're just not.
No, I'm just pointing, saying like yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, sorry.
Hey, Vin just sent me a private text and said if you put Mike's brain in a parakeet, it would fly backwards.
You ruined it.
Wait,
You ruined it, you
wait.
stuttering prick.
He might need he can't read the book either. He needs the verbal version like I need.
Clown. Oh my god.
All right, everyone, have a good night.
Later.
Tune in next week.
Jeremy Swift.